Good evening, hope you're well and that you're good. Oh, and it has been a long day. That is a very FailCraft phrase. Welcome to tonight's Hearthstone half hour. I'm Hammy and this is FailCraft Casts and we are laddering and we're going to be doing some learning. We'll probably jump between a bit of Mage Thaddeus because I like that deck, but just to get myself into the swing of things, get myself all warmed up and going. We're starting with what we know, and what we know is Control Warrior, because I played a fair amount of that, so let's dip our toe into the water of the ladder. I've been ranked 15 for a while. Suddenly it's the 16th, I'm pretty sure I was ranked 15 since early in this season. So we'll see how we go. Any questions? Any decks you'd like me to play? Any fun or things you'd like to do? Just give us a shout. So we've opened up with coining in to just remove the zoo-like minions. This is a zoo. I mean, judging him by his new card backs is harsh, but I'm pretty sure this is a zoo. So, Armor Smith goes down. I'm just going to save that weapon. He could well find a way of destroying that Nerubian egg. Perhaps aggressive sort of abusive sergeants and similar things could get stuck in, so we'll see. I hope you're well and that you're good. I'm just going to have a chat. What have I been up to? Today was busy. There's the 1-1. That won't let him quite sacrifice this. It'll let him do some damage or something. If only I had a silence. Death's Bite will swing around. There you go. He's going to armor me up a bit. I can just control this. I can take my time. And yeah, there's a real nice play here. He can keep trying to sacrifice that. I'm not going to give him this sort of pleasure of removing that straight away. You need to still buff it up again. I don't have anything on the table that's going to let him suicide it against it. That's the important thing. So it would still take another 2 turns. Good evening, Mouldy. Good evening, Lud, to those of you tuning in live. I hope you're well. We see ourselves being zooed. And you can see that he's now got the additional 1 attack on that Nerubian egg. That will let him sacrifice it. Again, note that I've got nothing that will do enough damage to his egg to actually allow him to sort of get removed from the table. So I can try and take advantage of this situation. Death's Bite could be an option. Death Rattle of dealing 1 to all. I would probably want to use a Force Swing on Death's Bite to actually remove the 4/4 Nerubian if it hits the table. So for that reason, there's nothing wrong with more Armor Smiths. A Slam would let me remove something nasty, and do you know what? I'm actually going to go with another Armor Smith that's drop into a Slam. I don't get the card draw, but what I do get is and 2 armor from that. Lovely. What I do get is to remove the nasty Direwolf Alpha. So we're going to try and get this zoo under control. You did hear a dog. The dog has entered the room.
So many possibilities. My shield for Argus.
I'm still not sure where my webcam is, so dog cam is a dog cam is not possible at this point in time. Okay, right, so we now have an Nerubian egg with 2/2. The Defender of Argus has gone down, so nasty tanks and lots going on. I don't want to be brawling. Remember that I will trigger that Nerubian egg. Armoring up is fine. Death's Bite, it will let me start picking away at some things, but it's not going to do the sort of wrecking that I would like. So I think one of the options... Oh, hello. Actually open Pinterest. Trying to think about an optimal play here. I can't sacrifice this to trigger the Nerubian, so I can remove it. I'm also a bit tired, so if my thinking is a little bit slow, I do apologise. So Death's Bite, I can remove this with a 1 pop. That's no problem at all. Archery, very interesting. Death's Bites. Oh, I can remove this. Come on, brain. This is not me intentionally playing slowly. Right, I'm going to go for a Cruel Taskmaster. Reason for that, We'll pop that off the table. It will spawn another 2. It's his choice whether he does. I don't want to sacrifice that just yet, so I'm going to armour up. And I'm not going to sacrifice my armour smith. And just say, right, okay, what are you going to do? So we now have, I think this is approaching brawl territory, because there's loads of stuff on the table. There's the Nerubian, there's lots of chip damage. He's not played that in the optimal order. He's made the plays, he's going to slap some damage onto me, life tap helps him draw. I don't think there's any point waiting. I've only got one brawl, but that brawl would do a job. Now, hang on just a second. If I pick this off with my Death Spite and throw down a Whirlwind, I'm not going to be taking out as much as brawl, so I just hope that I get rid of the Nerubian. Yep, I'm happy with that. Only a Direwolf. The Direwolf is still dangerous. He's got enough health to keep life tapping, but I've certainly thinned out the table a reasonable bunch. You see, there goes down the Doom Guard. Now, obviously, I would have been in danger of getting very beat then. Options, well, turn 7, I can go for a hyper-aggressive Gorehowl to remove that Doom Guard, and in fact, that's what I'm going to do. Now, not nice to take the 6, but with Rag, with naxxramas, I'm in a strong position. Welcome, Peng. Welcome, Peng Slider. Good to see you. Oh, we're getting rushed into there, down to 11 health, and you know, the benefits or the challenges of Zoo just keeps on coming at you. Now, do I want to armour up? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He could easily have a lethal next turn. I could go aggressive and start attempting removal. A Whirlwind will let me remove not everything that I would desire. However, armouring up will certainly let me remove this. Keep tapping away. A Whirlwind would be better when this is popped because it will let me remove 2 spiders in one go. He's not going to have a minion with an attack of 7 or more in a Zoo unless I'm very, very unlucky. So I want to throw this down. The reason I'm throwing that down is because he's Zooing. I'm guessing that I can just use this to trade a minion next turn. Whirlwind will let me pop the 2 spiders, also the Elven Archer, and then my Gorehowl should let me pop that Direwolf. Oh, well played. He said well played. Does that mean he's got a Leroy? He's got 6 on the table. A Leroy would end the game. We've got 5 health to go. I'm pretty sure that our Warlock is... if he's well played, you'd assume that he's got something to end the game. 5 damage. Well, 7 mana. This is a bit silly. No, he's tapped on the table. Interesting. So, so it's not game over just yet. I'm going to Alex to keep myself up. Now what can I do? So if I do this, first I'll take that out. Oh, now there was a misplay there. The reason I should have taken the 2 damage and then Alexed. By doing that I would have got more of a health buff up. So that was silly of me. I'm then just going to remove this as well. So the play there, I had enough health to take the 2 damage and then heal myself for 15 rather than leave myself on 13. So if you're going to drop yourself into an Alex to heal yourself, you want to do all of your damage first. Take any damage to your hero. There we go, the spider goes down. I've got an Alex down, suddenly I can start swinging with that. Down goes a Void Walker. Down goes an Nerubian Egg. I certainly don't want to be triggering a Nerubian at this stage of the game. I have some nice options. So Rag is not going to go down, I don't want to trigger that Nerubian. But what I can have is an Acolyte, Whirlwind to draw cards, pick off at least a good 2 minions there. So, from being in a tough position, we may well get this back. Be so confident so soon, my friends. Wouldn't be so confident so soon. Okay, I'm going to drop this. I'm going to whirlwind. There we go. Now, if you can buff this to make it if you can buff that so it attacks and does some damage, then that will be rather nasty for me. So I'm just going to crash in. Suddenly our opponent needs 15, and I've switched him down to 10, so careful control. A slight misplay by me there with Alex. I'm not won yet. Plenty of ways that this deck could try and do a lot of damage. Let's say 2 Soulfires and a Leroy. And up goes that. That can now trade something. You can get his Nerubi out. He really needs to remove this. Yep, nicely played. He's gone all out to remove my legs. But alas, I think I have the cards to take this home. So let's work out if I've got lethal. I believe that I do. Okay, so we just need to make the play right. So in play number 1, this. Play number 2, this. Play number 3, this. So I've cleared the table, and then Rag will do the final 8. There we go. So nicely done. A bit of a back and forth game there. The Zoo took advantage. Control Warrior should have had I should have felt a bit stronger in that game, but we managed to get into a good position. So we've got room for another one, perhaps it tops another 2 games, just to keep our half hour or so going. Next deck, you guys choose. That was a nice back and forth game there. So what do we've got? We've got a couple of Paladin options. I'm quite tempted to go to our Thaddeus deck that we played on New Play on Monday this week. To try and get Mage up with Death Rattle, Thaddeus and Stalag and Fugen. That might be fun. Could go with Legends Priest just for the funds. That's a Death Rattle Priest there. And we've got a couple of different variations of Shaman, including the one that we created a couple of weeks ago on Monday. So what are you guys fancying? Pick a hero, any hero. Yesterday you saw a Druid Murloc deck. Find me a list and maybe we can play that if there's time for a game 3. I'm going to go for some fun. I think we've got unfinished custom mage business. Alrighty then. Let's go for our mage. I'm going to just see if I can pull up the deck list. So this deck we lost a couple of times with when we were trying to show off what it could do, so I think I'm going to pull up this Mage Thaddeus. It's Death Rattle Mage, which you will have seen kicking around a fair amount. Tetra, possibly, depending on where you are on the ladder. So here we go. You can see all of the Death Rattles, Fugen, Lu, Teb and Stalag. So all I want is early game control and draw. An Undertaker would be nice. I'm going to... Do I want to keep the Arcane? I'm going to trade the Arcane and take the risk. The Loot Hoarder may have been a good card to keep. And with that hand, it definitely was a good card to keep. For the early drops. Okay, his job's done. Down goes an Undertaker Hunter, interesting. Got plenty, of course, you know, if you think of the web spinner and similar. Okay, so turn 2, well I can certainly Loot Hoarder for a trade. He might Death Rattle to try and buff that up. And Erythral Arcanist will go well with my secrets. Counter spell or duplicate. I can certainly drop and start buffing up that Arcanist. Down goes a coin for a 3-drop from our Hunter. Oh, and a web spinner. Okay, expected. Low cost buffs up the Undertaker. Nice. Down goes a Haunted Creeper, double buff, and suddenly we see the Undertaker is 3/4 on turn 2 with a coin. Very nasty. Excellent play by our Hunter. So Hunter with the tweaks to Unleash the Hounds and similar such. I know, Starving Buzzard tweak, I do apologise. Means that there's some interesting options here. I can't quite remove this in one turn, which is unfortunate. I don't really want to be duplicating this. I quite like to duplicate an Ethereal Arcanist. Throwing him a beast, it's only 1 damage. I don't really want to have that going on this turn. Arcane might draw me into some more options, or I can just go for the control. The web spinner is probably the least of my concerns right now. So for this reason, I'm going to Arcane, which is all counter spell. Okay, let's get a secret down. And then I'm going to... I'm going to see if I'll offer him a trade. And see where we go. Now there's another Undertaker and we're getting Hunter Rushed. I really need my Flame Strike if at all possible. Still 2 mana, that is an evil turn 3. Oh, that is a very evil turn 3. Look at that. He's had a really, really good starting hand. I'm not going to say he's lucky, it's a card game. You're going to draw good hands sometimes. It's the way of the world. Death Rattling Secrets could certainly start helping me out. And the Ethereal Arcanist would only let me begin trading rather than anything else. So I'm going to throw down the Arcanist and hope he doesn't rush us down. Duplicate is not hugely going to help me here. What I really need to do is get this table under control rather than anything else. So let's throw I'm going to Fireball. I'll wreck in with a Fireball. I'll go for the card draw as well. Now what do I want to remove? I'm not too concerned about this 1 drop. I'm going to suicide into that for card draw. And I finally get my own Undertaker. Painful. Would have been nice if that dropped earlier. Okay, so interestingly, note that he's not actually really attacking, which is an interesting option. After my Fireball, he kind of just thrown down a bow and then he's tapped on the table. Because he's looking for things to buff these, I'm not entirely sure. What I can certainly start doing is start filling the table of my own. So here we go. So suddenly, from not being in a great position, I'm sort of charging in and trying to get table control back. Down goes a buzzard, the 5 mana buzzard. So summoning a beast, draw a card. He could unleash the hounds at some point, and by doing so draw 3. But he's now suddenly deciding to attack me. I don't know why he didn't attack my hero last turn. There we go, they are not beasts. Important to note, Spectral Spiders aren't beasts. They're not going to trigger Starving Buzzard, but the original spider, the Haunted Creeper, is a beast. There we go, and he's decided to very sensibly pick off the one that would get buffed up and nasty. So low table will slow my opponent down. I could decide if I so wish to start sacrificing these with Death Rattles to get my secrets out. Counterspell is not hugely going to assist me here. Low table will slow my opponent, and I can actually start trading some of these nastier cards away. Chipping away. I don't really want him drawing cards, so for that reason, firstly, I'm going to sacrifice 1 to remove that. See what secret I grab. A Mirror Entity. That's good. I can summon a copied opponent minion, so I quite like that. I'm going to have a secret at the end of my turn, so that will gain me also. The Arcanist will start becoming nasty. I'm going to slow down my opponent, actually, I think, with a low tab. Or I could draw in with Arcane. I'm going to Arcane first. Let's get nice and methodical here. Down goes an Undertaker. Lovely, so I can drop that if I wish. I am going to drop that, and I'm also, firstly, I'm going to Fireball to remove the minion that could get buffed and do me nasty. So there is still 4 on the table. We've still got 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are not out of the woods. What we can do is just start chipping away very slowly. And these minions, I don't want to trigger this because that will summon 2 more. Okay, so there we go. Secrets got pulled into play. In comes the weapon. I now have, an angry chicken. Oh, great. A mirror entity on an angry chicken. I'm going to well play. Kill command flies down, and good stuff. That is exactly what the doctor ordered. A counterspell doing its job. Resisting the kill command. Another secret goes down from our hunter friend. I'm guessing that this could well be an explosive. 7, okay, right. Loteb, right, he's not got huge amounts of spellage. I'm not too concerned. I'm going to chicken a chicken. Make some chickeny style noises. The arc, I can Ethereal Arcanist after a duplicate. Is a Frostbolt of use. I could go for a very hard trade and remove a lot of this off the table. But what I need to be doing is making sure that he's going to slowly start rushing me down, and he's got the health to do so, so I need to somehow get some pressure onto him. For that reason, let's go for a Loteb. That'll slow things up. I like the feel of that. Pick that off, and then I'm going to try and trigger that. There's an explosive. Okay, we knew the explosive was coming. So we've offered him the choice. He can remove Loteb if he likes. If he does pull a nasty spell card, at least I've slowed him down again and I can start tapping away with Loteb. Houndmaster, nasty. That of course also creates that into a tank. That can start swinging. He's gone for the trade. Spawns 2 spiders. He can still arcane if he likes. So I'm on a timer. Maybe slightly hard for me to come through this. Fireball, well that will remove a threat. In fact a Frostbolt will just remove that threat. So I don't think there's any really true choice bottom to Frostbolt. I can then Fireball, I can arcane into a Fireball. The Golem's not going to let me trade. I can drop a Kirin Torn Mage. So I've got pretty much 2 turns unless I've got an ice block, and I don't have an ice block in this deck, so I just don't think, sadly, he's won the race, the damage race. He's damaged me enough. Even though I've got the table under control, I'm too low, and with a Mishet, that's probably a good game. Now this deck, you know, some decks drop armour, ice armours in, some of them drop ice blocks in as well, which is very, very handy. However, in this situation, I'm just struggling. So, you know, I can play a free duplicate. That's not really going to help. Fireball will remove this. He can put his own secrets into play, and he has actually got lethal next turn. He can do 5. And I think let's play this theoretically out. I need to Fireball. I could have mana whelmed and then Fireballed for an additional trade next turn. I'll drop a duplicate. I'll remove this so as not to trigger a secret. So, you know, the control has just been too slow. If I'd had a Flame Strike, maybe that would have helped, but I was probably a little bit slow in controlling his minions in the early game. Okay, so with 1 health left to go, there's certainly no way I can be winning this turn because it will just ping me next go, so it is a win. Ping these down. Yay! Wee! There we go. There's probably no reason why he won't attack me next go, but let's see. You see, maybe if I drop the Ethereal Arcanist and put a big threat on the table earlier, because that is 2-2 every single turn. I could have had a really big Ethereal Arcanist earlier in the game, so it could have been a big threat. There we go. Win 1, lose 1. Lovely stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's been great to have you with. And do of course come and join in again if you're watching on YouTube. Come join twitch.tv/FailCraft. If you're watching live, don't forget youtube.com/FailCraftcast for more episodes. We'll always tweet on at FailCraft Casts when we're going to go live on Twitch, and then the website is failcraft.org. So if you like it, do let us know, and share and all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow's Fun Friday, so hopefully see you then.